meal. Like, honestly, just fucking enjoy what you're
Well,
eating and don't feel guilty about
Say
it,
the
right?
study.
Because, yeah, okay, so it's like stress affects how we eat, right? And plus, it's just going to create a vicious cycle, right? You feel guilty about what you eat, and then the next day you feel shitty about yourself, and you're, eating the same thing, boom, boom, boom again, right? Enjoy what you eat. If you're going to go have your food that you really just like the taste of, fucking enjoy it. Don't like beat yourself up about it.
Because what happens?
And then, yeah, they've done study like where they had the same person basically wear like a glucometer, so it measures your blood sugar response, okay? And eating the same food when they were like sitting chill. Like raise, I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but raise their blood sugar to like a normal value. And then when they ate that same food, and right before they were going through airport security, their blood sugar shot up. I think it was like 4.2 times more than when they were at rest, right? So it's the influence of cortisol on our stress. So sometimes when we're eating and we're feeling stressed about
like
it,
I shouldn't be having
whether it's a food you're eating or you're stress eating in terms of like, you come home, you're stressed out, and you're just in the cupboard, like, cramming things in, which we all do sometimes, 100%. But it's like, sometimes it's like, hey, can we sit down and maybe just practice one meal a day? No work stuff. Like, I know we're busy too with work. Like, try no emails, not like have your computer open, no screen. Like, can you just sit and take 10, 15 minutes to just like eat? And just eat and focus on the taste of the food, the smell, blah, blah, blah. And just like down regulate. Even just one time a day is a good place to start. Because we do it too, right? It's like eating while you're working, you got tons of shit to do. We're all busy. Try to find even just 10 minutes one time a day that you can just eat and just like, that's it.
Because you'll actually like get a less of a blood sugar response from that, and you'll absorb more of the nutrients.
You'll find you chew more too, right?
You're
going to notice, like, if you notice when you're working and eating, like, just pay attention to how much you chew, and I guarantee it's not very much.
You might feel more fuller for longer, more satiated and stuff like that.
I mean, digestion starts in the mouth, right? We have like amylase in the mouth, which helps break down starches. Like, we literally have digestive enzymes in our mouth, and that is like where digestion starts.
Yeah. So that chewing is great.
Chew.
But I think at the end of this all, like, I think we had this like big idea of like, okay, what's my daily caloric intake going to look like? You guys have that number roughly. You can go on the what was the calculator.net. You could do that and like get dialed in on that a little bit more, but you have your protein goal, and the rest you're going to experiment with your carbs and fats. You have your YOLO food or some YOLO food alternatives that hopefully sparked an interest for you guys today with the alternatives and what that might look like for you. But I think this is still really a big piece, and this is going to lead into another workshop that we're going to do soon as well. But right? Like, what resistance do we foresee getting in the way of us doing the things that we know will get us further towards our goals, feeling better, feeling more energized, etc. This resistance, building things up, feeling overwhelmed, life, stress, routine, work, kids, like this is actually a little bit more nuanced and complex to get into about kind of like our mindset, right? And some of the things that will get in the way of us following through on these things.
And I know we had a question too, like timing, right? Nutrition timing. It's a smaller piece, honestly, but like, typically we're going to try to want to eat within like an hour or two of waking. Is kind of like a good general idea there. If you're thinking about in terms of mealtime around working out, it used to be, like right after your workout, you got to slam your shake. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're doing your last rep in one hand and you're shaking the other. But so it's more like, if we're looking at timing around workouts, it's more like a 4 to 6 hour window around your workout. So like, if you've eaten within like 2 hours or before you work out, and you worked out for an hour, right? Like, you don't got to go like, break into the nearest Popeyes at midnight and, grab some protein powder, right? It's like there's a window there, right? And if we're looking at what we call peri-workout nutrition, which is like nutrition around a workout, honestly, typically we want a bit of carbs before we work out, some protein, but if you've already eaten a meal maybe 2-3 hours, you probably just want a little maybe carbs and some electrolytes, okay, before a workout. Like, one of the best things before a workout or activity is honey. Little tablespoon of honey. Honey preferentially goes to the liver without getting too crazy with it. But like the liver is basically the only thing in the body that can distribute glucose or glycogen globally. So what I mean by that is like, let's say you're doing a chest workout, okay, and you need energy here, okay? The liver is the only thing that can go, oh, you need a little top up here. Muscles store it locally. So like once it's digested earlier and like it's in my bicep, like my bicep can't shift it to like my leg type of thing, right? The muscle, once it's there, that's where it is. The liver is like, okay, I can put it in these different places. So that's why like honey before a workout is one of the best things you can take because can go, okay, cool, you're doing like a hard workout, I'm going to send a bit there, send a bit there, okay? And then electrolytes, super important, right? Literally every cell functions through like a electrochemical exchange, right? And it relies on electrolytes. And this is going to be like for some people like, oh, I don't know about this. But like sodium is one of the most important, okay? If like usually people take this stuff better when they look at it on their own because then they can sit with it a bit. But again, it's a really a lot of the studies that look at like salt intake and sodium are like when the processed food industry really blew up, like TV dinners and all this stuff, canned food and a lot with processing, right? And it gave it a longer shelf life. But it's also, it was kind of like baby in the bathwater because it got this bad rap because the foods it's typically highest in aren't really great quality foods. But if you look at, there's a great book called The Salt Fix. You know, you look that up on your own because I know it's a bit controversial for some people. But and sodium's super important. It's literally like when we sweat, we lose a lot, right? So the more active you are, and typically the healthier you eat, you're probably going to need to add salt to your diet, okay? Because if we're not eating a lot of processed foods, we're not getting salt, right? And if we're working out a lot, we're excreting sweat, right? So we're losing a lot. Like I have either electrolyte mix that has close to like about 700 grams of sodium in it when I wake up and before a workout, okay? Or I'll do like a half teaspoon, quarter teaspoon of sea salt. Twice a day for me, but I'm active and sweat a lot. We don't eat a lot of processed food. So obviously if you have like a genetic condition where you have like a high blood pressure and stuff that, you know, that obviously is like disclaimer, but, a lot of us are low on electrolytes. Okay. That's super common. So, and like, if you feel sluggish, like honestly, midday, if you find like you have to have caffeine a lot, try electrolytes instead. And
try to increase your protein and increase your protein.
And then just quick note, we did a quick thing on supplements because people always ask about them, but I always say, like, build the foundation first, right? Like, build the foundation of the house
Kinda
first.
Like what we said at the beginning.
You know what I mean? It's like nice to have the marble countertops and all the cool shit, but like if you have a marble countertop and no walls to your house, like who cares? You know what I mean? So it's like the diet is like your house, and then the supplements are like the little accents. You know, you get the the gold sink like Drake or something. You know what I mean? But so it's like supplements, key things that I kind of recommend. Okay, it's like creatine. Okay, everybody take creatine. Straight up, it's like the most safe, well-researched supplement. It used to be like, I remember a buddy when I was in high school and we were working out, and he's like, yo man, can you get me creatine? My mom won't let me take it. It was a steroid, you know? And they're like, so he's like smuggling creatine into his room and stuff. But it's like, it's found in red meat. It's natural. We need it for energy production. Okay, so ATP, basically like ND's triphosphate, but that's where our energy is basically produced. So everything is essentially broken down to produce this kind of thing. And creatine is one of the quickest forms of it. Okay, so one of the quickest forms of energy we can make involves creatine in its use. Yeah. And so muscle contraction, also hydration. Creatine is going to help hydrate your cells, pull it from outside the cells to in. And more recently, it's been looked at in terms of brain function, neurological function, big increase. Okay, helps turn into some things called carnosine and stuff too. But anyway, big increase for brain function. So as we age, creatine honestly really, really good. 5 grams a day. It's like literally the cheapest supplement you can buy, the most researched, the safest. Like I honestly recommend everyone just take creatine.
To mood and to things like that.
Oh, they're all pretty good. As long as it says like CGMP on it, you're probably good. As long as it's certified. Like creatine's so cheap. Like it would be more expensive almost just to put like a high quality, like, salt in there than anything. Like, it's super cheap.
Yeah.
You're probably pretty good with, I mean, we're passing around one now. That's a brand we buy.
Yeah.
So, you could get there.
You want to talk about collagen or the greens?
Yeah, so, and then like protein powder, obviously, we have a big thing over there. You can, okay, you want to do green since you've got it.
Yeah, let's just do green.
These are also quick little tie-ins in terms of if you're traveling, okay? Especially if we're traveling business a lot, busy, simple greens powder. Simple greens powder, just to kind of cover the bases, right? Like, again, we take this stuff every day, but it's not saying you have to. But like if we travel, we usually bring a little Ziploc of greens, Ziploc of protein powder, label it not cocaine. When you're going through the airport, okay, save yourself some time. But these are like some simple things you can do, okay? Greens powder, protein powder, creatine, electrolytes we touched on, magnesium, okay, another big one. Okay, magnesium we used to get a lot through soil, okay, but through like monocropping, blah, 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 I don't necessarily get into all that, but we just, the soil doesn't have much, vegetables don't have much.
Right.
Magnesium bisglycinate, really, I guess I should have written down there, but great for bedtime. Okay, glycine, great for gut lining. So when you see like magnesium and then another word after, it just basically means it's bound to this thing. And it affects absorption of whatever the thing is, so without getting too crazy into it.
Yeah.
So glycine is like this amino acid, good for the stomach, and it's calming. Okay, so like we take it before bed every night, magnesium bisglycinate. Okay, I highly recommend that. Again, don't get too caught up in these though. But like, you know what I mean? Don't get too caught up. But these are things like, okay, if your diet's in order, and also they can be quick fixes. Like if you're feeling kind of shitty, these can also like kickstart. You have more energy, more focus to make choices for your food. And then the last thing, like honestly, is like a D3K2 mix. Okay, really good for bone density, blood. I mean, D3 is like almost more like a hormone. And we're almost everybody's low in that, okay? So that's going to be focus, energy, calcium reabsorption. So when we think about calcium, a lot of times the issue with calcium is throughout the day we lose calcium a bit from our bones. And as Sri said, sometimes we need it for function. We should have a reabsorption system in the body. And a lot of magnesium and D3 and K2 actually help a lot of reabsorption of calcium back into the bones.
Right.
But they're like, magnesium and D3 are like basically using like, I don't know, 400 plus functions in the body. Like it's almost everything uses those. So a very like quick little touch, because I know time-wise, but just a quick touch on supplements because we get asked about it a fair bit. And then, I mean, I think like, generally, we wanted to leave about 5-10 minutes just for like any kind of general Q&A.
If anyone
wants to share a key takeaway. I mean, we just do this in all the courses we do, but like key takeaways and stuff that you had, maybe something you're like, yeah, this really resonated with me, or any